Welcome to episode 4, Get on the Dance Floor. Welcome to Burn It Down. Welcome to TCB Studios. Hope everyone is having a wonderful Monday night. I just got back from playing a wonderful rock show at the Whitewater Tavern in Little Rock, Arkansas, with Mike Sheena, aka DJ iPod, aka Vic Carenti, who was my guest last week. We had a wonderful time. We rocked and we rolled. And want to thank Mike for being my guest last week. We got so many wonderful messages from people reaching out saying they loved our story and they loved our history. Thank you for checking in with us tonight. We are super excited. I would like to give a shout out to our sponsor, Kelly's Death Pickles. Try them out. They are amazing. And we are going to be having Kelly on as a guest in a few weeks. I'm super excited to have him. He's got some big things coming up. Big shout out to Jonathan and Renee and everyone else behind the scenes at Cosmos Creative Television. I'm so honored to be part of this. I love being part of a team, and I love working with people. And I'm so grateful that they believed in me, and they also trust me. And they've told me in meetings that they see my vision and they see where it's going. And I love everything about that. And that's what kind of leads into this next thing I'm about to say. This guest we're having tonight, we're breaking new grounds, and that's what you want to do on a show. We were so lucky to have Emily Marie Palmer as a guest with Jeffrey Butzer, and she was wonderful. But tonight is our first legit female guest. I'm a huge fan of this person. I've heard terms for months now. Breakout star of Cosmos Creative Television, jazz guitarist, DJ. We've connected. We only met once in person at the Kimono My House Fest for a few minutes. But since then, we've talked a lot, and we share the same things. We love the same things, hate the same things, and want to do the same things creatively. She's got so many great shows that are currently on Cosmos Creative. But even better, I see notes behind the scenes, and she's got so many ideas for such awesome and cool shows coming up in the future. So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Please help me give this person a round of applause. Jaime Bennett.
What a great intro. Thank you so
Man.
much.
I love it that I just saw you in the green room 5 minutes ago, and now your cheeks are more red because I'm making you blush.
You are. You say such wonderful things. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I'm proud to say I have not lied in 13 days, so everything I said was from the heart.
Oh, thank you.
How you doing? How's the husband, the family, everyone good?
Everyone is good. It's been storming here today, so keeping our fingers crossed.
Yes. I love that when we see you do your live paintings, your interviews, your shows, which we will get into, but everything is so organic, and it's one of my favorite words. And I use it a lot in my interviews, but there's a reason why. Because it happens naturally. There's no false pretense. And then also it just means it's so human, you know? So like behind you, you see art projects that you're currently working on, and you and your daughter doing shows. And I love that. I'm a fan. We here at TCB Studios are fans. As a matter of fact, I was on the road rocking and rolling this weekend, but I had to assign some people who work for me to watch some of your episodes so they could take more notes on things that we could talk about tonight. Now, I've watched, I believe, every episode of your shows, and we're going to get into them. But I was like, give me something. Come on, give Uncle T, give T Chesh something he hasn't gotten yet. You know, I love your approach. I think we even were talking when you were talking about your college radio days when you were a DJ. And I mentioned like, one of your alter egos should be, J Love or something like that. Because you have these great names with the letter J in them. So what I want to do is, because it seems like you wear so many hats comfortably, And by the way, one of my ideas with the show is, and I expressed this to Renee, because we all know, and let's give a round of applause to Jonathan and Renee and everyone in the background for kicking all kinds of butt behind the scenes and helping us with our shows, with our visions. But one of my ideas of my show was, so certainly I speak to a lot of people that I've been in the music business for more than half my life. I'm in broadcasting now, people that I've worked with, and that's wonderful because there's that camaraderie and we talk about projects we've worked on, and it's a wonderful story, and we love sharing that. And then we go from there and we talk about our future projects. But tonight we're breaking other new grounds. You're like the newest friend of mine that I'm having on as a guest, and I absolutely love it. I love being in these uncharted waters. So I'm probably going to ask more questions than I normally do, and I love that as well.
That's
But
cool.
one of the ideas of the show is, and I think we're executing it already right now, is there's enough hate in the world, so screw that. And I love love. And so we joke around, certainly at TCB Studios, we say, we totally just, we just hype each other up, because we're all insecure. So we basically just compliment each other. So for the next 24 or 5 minutes, just expect me to compliment you.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yes. So it seems like you wear all these hats and you wear them comfortably. And from what I'm gathering from being behind the scenes in meetings and hearing your conversations, you plan on wearing 10 more hats in the next year. And I love that, So, but where did it start? Did it start off you trying to be behind the scenes in journalism, or was it radio, or was it a musician? Because all three of them, it seems like you have a pretty solid background in.
I started off in musicals. In grade school, I did a lot of musicals. And then my dad has played harmonica since he was like 12 years old. So I kind of just grew up around the music scene.
And a very musical family.
Yeah.
I
so
love
it
that.
kind of just started there. And then when I got to the age of 19, I decided to get a guitar. And, I was a depressed kid and just didn't know what to do with myself. So I got a guitar and started playing. And the rest is history with the guitar.
Right. I raised my hand saying, me too. And at 52, some days, unfortunately, I still feel like a depressed kid. And then other days I feel wonderful, But it also seems like that whatever was ailing you, you also attacked it with a baseball bat or a guitar and said, I'm an overachiever. And you're like, I'm not just doing 2 chords here. Like, I do 2 chords. You're like, no, I'm going to do some jazz numbers.
Yeah. I was the rock guitarist in the jazz ensemble because I started by playing rock. So like I would ask my jazz instructor, I'm like, can I do a solo and can it please be rock? And he's like, well, we just got to keep it calm because this is a jazz concert.
Right.
So I did jazz fusion. We came to a compromise.
Wow. Well, I love that. And I think, I say this all the time. Well, anyone that's open-minded, and you clearly are, and everyone that we associate with, I believe, is very open-minded. But it's like there's great hip-hop, there's horrible hip-hop, there's great metal, there's horrible metal. I love Merle Haggard and Johnny Cash, but some of the new country, to me, is just as bad as some of the new rap, So, like, I love jazz, and I love good rock and roll. And why couldn't you have this fusion? It only makes sense. It only makes sense if it's done right and done properly.
Yeah, I enjoyed doing my solos because I got to do jazz fusion. So that was really fun.
That's lovely.
And then I was getting a communications degree. I started off with a music business degree, and then they cut the program, unfortunately. So then I got put into contract major, and I wasn't meeting my goals with my classes. So then I became I got into the communications degree and became a broadcast broadcast major. Recording technologies is what I say my degree is mostly in, because I learned how to do the recording technologies from my jazz instructor, who
Right.
happened to be my
Right.
recording technologies teacher.
And then I believe that led to you actually having and hosting your own DJ show where you played music, turned people on new music, and even had interviews with musicians.
Yeah, it helped. I was a contract major for a little while, and with being a contract major, I was partially in like my music business classes and partially in like communication classes.
Right.
So I had to do both and I had to juggle both. I believe my last semester in college, I had like 30 plus credit hours that I had to achieve before I could graduate. So I was running myself crazy, but
I'm
yeah.
starting to realize we have a lot more things in common. My dad used to say, you're swinging at the wind. If you just try to do one thing, you'll probably get it done, but you're trying to do 20 things. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, when you're passionate and you're a creative person, that does happen. And it doesn't always align with the way your brain, the computer in your brain is programmed. And we still are works in progress trying to figure that out.
Yeah. I always have ideas like wanting to burst out of my brain. That's for sure.
Yeah. After I did my first show, and I've loved every episode. Everyone has been so special. And this one I'm feeling so good about, but I got off the phone with Renée and we were talking about new ideas and stuff. And literally the next morning, my doctors say, listen, your body is exhausted, but your brain will never be. So you're probably just going to lay there for 12 hours, So I'm writing down, I wrote 3 songs and the next morning I had 4 ideas for shows. And I'm like, I cannot try to start another show until I execute this show and make this one right, So, and that's what we're doing here tonight, and we're making this show great. And then later on, either I'm going to be involved in them, or I'm going to say, here's some ideas for shows, and let other people work on
them. That's the best part about a creative brain; it never shuts off.
I know. So, so then you have to put some of this stuff on hold because life gets in the way, and that's okay. And it just makes you more of a badass human and wife and mom, and you take care of these things. But the world shuts down, and everything's on hold. Our lives are on hold. And you luck out, just like I lucked out. And we met some really beautiful, creative people, some like-minded people in these groups. And someone saw something in me, someone sees something in you. And I'm so grateful for that. And you start these shows. So I want to talk about your shows because I love both of them. I'm a huge fan of witches, ghosts, and everything under the covers. And I'm a musician, and I love hearing you talk to musicians. So if you could tell me about your shows, and then we'll get into other ideas that you have. But from what I gather, Jam Session Goes Underground is you waking up one day saying, hey, world, I got some unfinished business to take care of. Yeah. I stopped doing my DJ show, and I met these beautiful folks. Well, I'm bringing it back. We're resurrecting it.
Yeah,
is that
that's
basically
exactly it.
Okay,
That is exactly
I love that.
it. I got the privilege of doing an interview with Gavin DeGraw, who's a mainstream musician.
I've heard of him, yeah.
So I got the privilege of doing an interview with him, and I did an interview with Terry Gross back in my radio DJ days.
Wonderful.
And I was like, I would like to do that again. I'm not done with that idea. I want to do it again. So that's us revisiting the jam session and giving it a new title.
I love it. Yeah. So it's like resurrecting it. The basic ideas are there, but changing a little bit, giving it a new name, and also a fresh, like breath of fresh air, like it's born again.
Yeah. Exactly. I want mainstream musicians to have the ability to be on the same show as musicians that, maybe haven't got their foot through the door yet, or maybe haven't gotten recognized for their talent yet. I want them to intermingle and help each other out is
wonderful.
What my purpose of this show is.
Wonderful. Lovely. Lovely. Yes. September 17th, everybody. Hey, you in the audience, I'm going to be a guest on that show, and I'm very excited about it. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Oh,
I
it'll
don't know
be
where I'll be.
awesome.
I don't know where I'll be. It might be TCB Studios in New York, but I can't wait. And thank you very much for having me. I forget sometimes that I have a story, a background story too, and I'm willing to share it a couple times a year. So it's going to be lovely. I love the idea of the show. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at these notes right here. One of the first things I wanted to say, and I already messed up, but that's okay. It's not, we say here, it's not open heart surgery. No one's going to die. It's just television. So it's okay. Something I wanted to say 10 minutes earlier, I'll say now. One of your guests you had in your show was Julio Morales, and we want to wish Julio Morales a happy birthday as well from yesterday. Yes, our community, that's the biggest thing. Music and radio and broadcasting and television and film, all of it, my dad used to say when I was 13 years old, it's nice to be nice. And I just try to be that way. And that's how we attract and you get back, and that's how we met. And that's why you and I have great conversations,
Yeah.
But the community is really, really small. So we're so lucky, we're so fortunate for the people that we've met. And so if I can reach out and help someone, wish someone that we love a happy birthday, well, I got news for you. I'm going to do it every day. It's the best thing ever.
Yes, most definitely. That's what I try to live by. I try to be kind to everyone, and I always tell people love first and foremost. I have no shame in telling somebody that I just met, hey, I love you, you're awesome.
Oh my goodness, yes. I love that. Yeah, I mean, I did an episode a few weeks ago, and I was talking about that. I cry every day. Sometimes I cry twice a day, and then sometimes I might not cry for 3 days, and then I cry 3 times. And someone reached out to me and said the kindest words in a private message, and it was a man, and that's even makes it even better. He was like, dude, thank you so much, man. He was like, man, your heart just might be too big and too kind for this world. He's like, but thank you for sharing it. And I was like, arm hairs, thank you so much. Thank you for reaching out. I don't even know you, and I'm so grateful for all of that, because we are all in this together. And if we can help build each other up and make each other our best versions of artists and thespians and musicians, and then on top of that, the best humans ever, man, who's better than me? I'd like to meet the man.
Yeah, most definitely.
Oh my goodness. Now you've been doing some you've been doing some touring, you've been doing some traveling some ghosts, and doing some research, and you've seen some really beautiful American Gothic cities.
Yeah.
Your other show, which I love, and I love, you telling your stories behind this. Now, I know you also have you're Powered by Women, so we have so much to discuss, But if you want to talk, if you can share with us a little about, I'm sorry, The Warrior Within. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. See, it's just television. No one's gonna. No one. Open heart surgery. No one's gonna die. Yeah. I apologize. I'm getting yelled at right now. They're like, you're not reading right. But if you can share with me and our friends on Burn It Down a little bit about both of those shows, and then maybe we could talk about. I know we don't want to give away too many secrets, but maybe what's going on in that awesome head and brain about future ideas.
Okay, so I have my Belongs to the Shadow show, which is the
love it, yeah.
Ghost stories and haunted history. And I'm not able to travel to too many places right now, because it takes money to travel, but we'll get there eventually. I just recently visited Bonaventure Cemetery in Savannah, Georgia, which is an American Gothic cemetery, and it has a lot of stories to tell.
Yes.
I absolutely loved being there. I loved seeing all the sculptures in the cemetery, and I loved, telling that cemetery story. And of course, I only talked about just a little bit of it. There's more stories to tell there.
you just scratched the surface.
Yes, most definitely.
And I love Savannah. even not the cemeteries, the weeping willows, the trees, the streets, the horses and carriages. It is such a Gothic town. As a matter of fact, later on this week, a friend of mine I'm seeing from Savannah, and I love catching up with her. And we always talk about, the city and the streets and the cemeteries. And they talk to you. The streets talk to you. The cemeteries talk to you. The plots talk to you. The trees talk to you.
Most definitely. I loved every minute there. It was so wonderful being there. And I plan on going back in the future, that's for sure.
Yes. Yes. Well, we need to put up some information at the end of the show and try to raise some money to make, because your show is already wonderful. All of your shows are great. But we need to, if anyone can have it, and I know times are tough, but if anyone can help out and push, and we do these, fundraisers and these charities to help the show, you travel to, let's say, New Orleans or something, to do something to make the show as good as it is even better.
Yeah.
Be wonderful.
Yeah, I'm wanting to do Marie Laveau from New Orleans. That's my next goal. So I'm trying to save up money to go to New Orleans to do a story about Marie Laveau. And then, of course, probably 5 other stories from New Orleans.
Right. Like Charleston. I mean, there's so many southern towns that have these histories that if you do the research, you're going to find out, okay, well, there was some wrongful deaths around this time, turn of the century, that I'm sure there's some insane stories going on.
Yeah, most definitely. I spent some time in New Orleans at Project Lazarus. So I'm kind of familiar with the French Quarter and that whole area because I spent like a week there. I stayed in a Catholic monastery while I was there. So.
Wow. Oh, that's another episode. I just want to talk about that because I've spent some time there too. I've played shows there and I've visited friends there, and you just walk around and it's a lovely walking town. Although certain places aren't that safe to walk around, But I mean, if you love to walk and have your eyes open and be turned on and have your eyes even and your heart even more opened up to things, it's so lovely. I mean, and the buildings and the architecture, it's gorgeous.
Yeah. It's very pretty there. I loved every minute there, and like the smells wafting in, into the street or onto the sidewalk from the spice stores and everything. It's just I love it there. I always call New Orleans my second home because I feel like I'm at home there.
Right. Yes. And I'm a big fan of like voodoo shops and witch bookstores. Anytime I'm traveling, if I could get into a store and find books on witchcraft or anything, I know what I'm doing that afternoon. And it's, buying books and reading and looking at stuff. So amazing. When are each of those shows being aired that we could share with the Burn It Down audience?
Belongs to the Shadows airs once a month. It's every second Sunday, and I believe it airs at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then The Warrior Within, which is my sensitive topic show. I talk about sensitive topics. It airs the first and third Sunday of every month. And I believe that one's set to air at, I'm not sure when they have it set to air. I think it's set to air at like 7, I believe.
Okay.
And then the jam session goes underground is the first and third Saturday of every month, live at 5.
Live at 5. Yeah. Now, I must thank you again for The Warrior Within, and I apologize for calling it the wrong name earlier. I'm high on life right now. I'm just excited about doing this interview. But you tackled some really important issues for men and women, for young women, for kids, and for men to think themselves as if they are women, which is very, very important. So thank you for doing that. And some of those subjects aren't maybe the easiest to talk about.
Yeah.
And then some of them, some people, it's not the easiest for them to listen to. They don't feel comfortable with it. And I'm here to say, if something makes you feel uncomfortable, you better listen to it, you know. So thank you for that. I'm constantly reminded of these things that, listen, we're imperfect. So right there, if someone admits that they've made mistakes and they want to be better, right there, they're going in the right direction, you know.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing that show, because it's important stuff. And not enough people maybe see the importance or are trying to talk about it. You know, I'm trying to get better at that myself, like me just mentioning this now, you know, because I want to let everyone know, one, that I'm on the right side. And if anyone, you know, anyone needed a shoulder or an ear to talk about something that made them feel uncomfortable, I'm here to talk to you. We are here. We here at Cosmos Creative TV are here for you. Like, it's an open-minded group, you know. So thank you so much for that show, and thank you for all of your shows.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for watching them.
Yeah, love
and
them
thank
all.
you to the audience for watching them.
Yeah, thank you everyone at Burn It Down, and I'm gonna, you know, send some notes out again. Just try everything once. My dad used to say that, which is maybe not the best advice. Try everything once. What do you mean, Dad? There's a lot of bad things out there, you know. But so what can you tell us about you and your family and your daughter, because you're always painting? So, like, these are 3 hats we just talked about, but I know you have 7 other hats and you're thinking about maybe wearing 10 more in the future. What is going on at Willow Productions, at Jaime Bennett Productions, behind the scenes? Dreams, visions, goals, and process.
Well, Willow has her own studio page that we started for her show.
Congratulations.
Mellow Out is her show, and her studio page is called Starbird Studios.
I follow it. Yeah.
That's a nickname her grandma gave her, because her middle name's Star, so she calls her Starbird.
Well, she
so
is
my
a
mom
star.
actually came up with that.
I love it. I love it. Love it.
And then I have just started my own studio page, which I'm going to put, you know, any show that I edit, any show that I'm involved in, I'm going to put it on that page so that people can find it there as well.
Yeah.
It's called Star Raven Studios. Sticking with the bird theme here.
Yeah, well, listen, we love birds. We love birds and we love stars. What's wrong with it?
So I have my own studio page. I've kind of neglected it because I've been so busy with, you know, I'm working on commissioned art pieces. I'm, you know, editing stuff. I'm always doing something.
You're a mom. You got things going on. Congratulations on a new job. You got things going on.
Yes, I have a lot going on, but it's a good busy. It's a really good busy.
Oh, busy is the best thing ever. You know, I say that all the time. Like, I'm a creature of habit, and I've also had, let's just say, some demons play really evil tricks on me over the years. And, you know, ever since we're little, we hear the term, like, know your strengths. I'm like, that's fine, but know your weaknesses. I know what I'm bad at, and I know that if I have a schedule and I work 40 or 50 hours a week, and I get to the studio 10 hours a week and work on music, and I sleep at this time, and I go on a date 1 night a week, I live a happy life and I get a lot done. And I don't allow any of that negativity to just spit, you know, eat me up and spit me out, you know.
Yeah. And I used to be one of these people that would let, you know, things get to me too much. But, you know, as I've gotten older and as I've lived life a little bit more, I realize, you know, you can't control people. You can't control what they say or do. You can only control your space around you, and you need to make your space more positive. So don't worry about the small things. Don't worry about, you know, things that you have no control of.
Again, again, it just makes you blush. That's what we do. We just compliment each other on the show. Thank you for your you do these like daily, once a day words from Jamie, whatever. And what the funny thing is some of them are so simple that everyone should be like, oh, I didn't think of that. You're like something as little as like, when I was a boy, my mom would say, if nothing nice is being said, say nothing at all, and you kind of referred to, you said it way better than I just did, a couple of weeks back. But you like, listen, just try to find the good, in people. And again, just, a fan of that and appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you. I try to be good every day. Like, I always say that it's a good day and I've accomplished a lot if I have made at least one person smile or laugh every single day. And, that's what my daughter lives by. Like, she's always making me laugh. Like, I could have a really horrible day and Willow will save the day by making me laugh.
And she's a hero and a star. So thank you, Willow.
Willow's awesome. I can't talk about her enough.
I know. Well, listen, that's wonderful. So I know you have a couple of ideas that we probably can't get completely into. But please let us know that you do have more ideas for new shows coming up on Cosmos.
I do. Me and Willow's working on a little top secret thing as a surprise for the Cosmos people, for everybody. And then, of course, Willow's got her mellow out. So
Willow's Pillow is a show. Willow's Mellow is another show. Willow tells you guys to chill out. Everyone needs to chill out.
Oh, she loves hosting shows. She might take over one of my shows. You never know.
Listen, keep it in the family. Much love to you guys. Happy birthday, everybody. Hey, can we all wish this lady a happy birthday?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Ever.
Listen, it only happens once a year. I was trying to make the most of it. Again, happy birthday to Julio. Anyone else who had birthdays this weekend? I love doing this show. For years, I would have friends of mine say, "You should get into acting." I'm like, nope. I'm like, I give the world my crotch and my heart and complete 100% honesty when I've been lying in the gutter with my songs. Actors want to be something like they're not. Well, my thinking has changed since then, and I'm so grateful for wonderful actors, But along those lines, friends would say, you should have your own talk show. And I'm like, nope, I'm just a guy who gets his heart broken and cries and writes songs and then gives them to the world, Well, that's changed, and I'm getting better at everything. I just think I'm the best version of T. Cheshire I've ever been right now. And when we talked about doing this show, all it took was me just thinking about it. Like, what can we do? We could share wonderful stories like your story with our viewers, with our listeners. And I absolutely love it. Thank you again to Renée and John and everyone behind the scenes at Cosmos Creative. I love doing this show. I love breaking new ground every week and telling new stories and old stories every week. And thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank you so much for having me on your show. And I'm a huge fan of this show.
Oh, well, listen, and that's what we do. All we do is compliment each other, and we're just fans of each other. It's not a bad life. It's all right. We will. I'm going to be on your show on September 17th. Yes. The jam session goes underground, but don't wait until then. Please watch every episode of her show. Jaime Bennett, you are awesome. I'm a huge fan of you as an artist and as a human. And thank you for your time. And everyone have a good night. We'll see you guys next week. Much love and respect. Whee!